Welcome to Channel 18 News. I'm Jim Rogers. Thursday morning, Cassandra Joyce Minnick, age 30, was charged with felony 1 murder and is in Hopkins County Jail held on a $1 million bond. She's charged with the murder of her husband. She used a rifle. According to Hopkins County Sheriff Lewis Tatum, Minnick called the sheriff's office around 12:06 a.m. Wednesday morning, stating she had found her husband shot in their residence after she heard a gunshot. Deputies arrived on the scene and found Kenny Minnick unresponsive in the residence. Sergeant Richard Greer said the story that Miss Minnick gave him varied each time she told it. Greer contacted investigator Charles Humphreys, who also found discrepancies in the story. He called Chief Investigator Corley Weatherford and Texas Ranger John Vance. Following investigation at the scene, Ms. Minnick was arrested and charged with murder. 3 children in the home were taken by Child Protective Services and placed in care. Justice of the Peace Brad Cummings pronounced Mr. Minnick dead at the scene. His body was transported to Dallas for autopsy. Friday is the last day for early voting in the March 6th primary election. Wednesday, 181 Republicans and 24 Democrats voted. Early voting takes place 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. in the Justice of the Peace Courtroom, 128 Jefferson Street. Tuition and fees for the 2018-2019 Paris Junior College academic year will remain unchanged. The Paris Junior College Board of Regents made that decision Monday evening during their regular meeting. The decision was recommended by Paris Junior College President Dr. Pam Anglin. A comparison report drawn from the Integrated Post-Secondary Education Data System was provided the Regents. The survey collects data from 7,000 institutions annually. For the report, PJC was compared with 22 other colleges that are ranked as medium-sized out of the 50 in the state of Texas. According to the report, Paris Junior College has a far higher graduation rate than peer colleges, while PJC's full-time equivalent staffing is lower than peers. PJC has 84% of students on some form of financial aid compared to the peers with 66%. 64% of Paris Junior College students are on Pell Grants compared to 47% at peer institutions. Here's Don Julian with sports.
Wildcats basketball coach Clark Cipolletta has had some time to think about his team's regional quarterfinal loss to Prosper, 69-64 in triple overtime in Princeton on Tuesday night. I talked with Coach Cipolletta Thursday morning.
It's just one of those games. It's a very good game. Prosper is a very good team, and I thought, the Wildcats really came out and played their hearts out, and you just come up short sometimes, and we had some chances to win, but wasn't our time, and pretty much is the recap on it.
You go through a lot of coulda, shoulda, woulda. I know the players will do that. Mm-hmm. Think about what you could have done differently.
I've watched the film twice, and we really wouldn't have done anything different. We had chances to win it, and at the end of the day, as long as you're in position to win a game, that's what you do. And sometimes the ball didn't bounce our way, and sometimes the ball bounced their way. And that was just kind of the difference. But I thought kids stepped up and played well. I know we got into some foul trouble, which definitely hurt at times. But, next guy up. And then they were ready to come in, and they played their hearts out, and we stuck together. We handled adversity throughout the game. And, just really, really proud of them. Hated it ended this soon. We were really looking to take that next step. But that's what next year's for.
Yeah. And you kind of look at, you think about where the program was when you started and where it is now, and you can just, feel that progress.
Oh, for sure. It's just a dedication to the players really buying into the system that was, mine and Coach Manning's vision. They've really put in work. I know I talk about it a lot, but I don't know if people really understand how much time these kids put into the game of basketball. They do. They come in the morning to shoot almost every day. They come all summer. These kids really don't have lives outside of basketball because they're that dedicated, and they got dreams that they want to fulfill. So they put in so much time. So when you have that mixed with some passion and just a good group of kids, special things can happen. And I feel like the basketball program's definitely headed in the right way.
You have 4 seniors, all kind of have a special role.
Sure.
You design their roles, and they've all got what they bring to the table, and some of them quite a bit. And but on the same time, as I looked out there, out of your starters, 4 of them are coming back next year, we hope.
Yes, and like the 4 guys we're going to desperately miss. They'll be hard to replace, but we do have a bulk of the guys coming back, and a lot of scoring, a lot of defense. So, we have a chance to be really special next year. I have some younger guys that can kind of step in and, replace roles. And just as the years go on, we should have guys just keep stepping up and keep taking other people's spots. And that's the signs of a good program, and I think that's where it's headed.
You got hungry bench players over there that are waiting for their turn, and plus some of those JV and freshman guys say, hey, how about me?
Yes, and they'll have an opportunity to prove that. They get from now until, till we start next year. I tell the guys, it's open tryouts. Just because you made a team this year, that doesn't mean anything towards next year. You got to definitely earn that position, and so we'll see what type of work you put in until that time.
Whatever good things come down the road, this year maybe you just see it as yet another kind of stepping stone. You think about last year with, where we just blew everybody away in the district except couldn't quite get by Mount Pleasant. This year we'll win the district championship, win 30 games. I mean, it just step by step sometime to get to the top.
Yes, and I wish we could just take one large step. It sucks taking these little steps at times, but that's part of it. And you just gotta learn to go through those things as a group and as a team and as a program, and at least we're taking the right steps. I mean, it could be worse. You could be taking steps the other direction. So we're taking steps the right way. And I was telling the team, it's really sad the season's over, but y'all got to be a part of another historic season. Last year setting the win record and going as far as Sulphur Springs has ever gone, and then this group did that even more. So just keep being a part of history special. Not many people get to do that. Not many people can say I played on the best, potentially Sulphur Springs basketball team ever, and they'll always remember that. So I'm just blessed that I'm a part of that, and just looking forward to the future.
Absolutely. Maybe it'll just happen before we know it. We'll be sitting here talking. It'll be early November and time for the first scrimmage game.
If there was a fast forward button in life, I would press it, and we would be talking about that time. But it gives us a lot of chances now to really focus on things we need to get better at as a group and as individuals. And I had guys staying after school yesterday to shoot. They're just that hungry, and the sky's the limit for this team next year. And I'm just really just looking forward to it.
Best of luck, Coach.
Thank you so much. Thank y'all.
The Wildcats powerlifting team qualified a lot of lifters for Saturday's regional powerlifting meet in Lindale. The final certified list was released on Wednesday. Wildcats powerlifting coach Chg.18 tells us Wildcats who qualified.
We've got 11. That's with one alternate. Right now that one alternate is Austin McCain in the 114s. Those 114 kids usually have a problem making weight, so we're hoping to slip him in there. But our official list, we have 10 powerlifters going. Starting at the bottom, or the smallest weight class, not so much the bottom, is we have Trenton Johnson in the 114s. He's coming in 7th place. In the 132 or 120 or 132s, we have Joel Morales. Joel's coming in 2nd place.
Wow.
And, top 2 make it to state.
Okay.
So if he can get in the top 2, he'll make it to the state meet. In the 123s, we have Alex Rodriguez. Alex is coming in 4th place, so that's points. Anything 5th place or higher is points. After that, we have, in the 148s, Jesse Carrillo. Jesse Carrillo's coming in, I believe, 7th place.
Okay.
After Jesse, we have the 165s. We have Carson Bridges. Carson Bridges is right now in 6th place, but he's got a very good chance of jumping into the top 4. After Carson, in the 181s, we have Vincent Morales. Again, Vincent's sitting in 6th, but he's only 40 pounds out from 2nd. So a highly competitive group in that 181s. It'll be fun to see if we can get him in there. Also have George Greenway in the 181s. George is coming in, I think he's in 12th place. Okay. So he gets an opportunity to lift and get stronger. After George Greenway, we jump up to the 242s, and the 242s, we're taking 2 of them, Ian Blanche and Deidrick Dugan. Now, the fun part about that is Ian, we were planning on lifting 275s all year. We got him certified in the 242s in one meet. Well, we had a couple guys jump out of nowhere on the 275s come out of Ennis that are pretty far up there. So talking to Ian, and we decided, and we did a little scheming, and we're like, all right, well, you got that one meet in the 242s. Well, it's driving Ian nuts because he's been beating Diedrich all year. But if you look at the numbers on the regional list, they use that meet that you got in with that weight, but it might not be your highest weight. And so right now, Diedrich's beating Ian, so he's been busting butt. Those two have a nice little competition going. Yeah. And then we've got senior Jesus Olivo made it in the 275s, which he's still about 5 pounds overweight. So we're trying to get him to cut weight. He lived in the super heavies all year long. Yeah. So we've got coming in 4 guys that are points, with 4 others that are right there at making point. Getting points for the team, so we hope to be competitive at this regional meet. Absolutely, last year we came in 4th place, and the guys are amped up and ready to go. So we hope to break top 3 this year, bring home an award.
Go back, interesting situation in 242. What are the ranks? How are they ranked, Diedrich and Ian Blanche?
Oh, number 1 and number 2.
Number 1 and number 2.
Yes, sir. And that was the other problem is all year until a week ago, Ian was number 1 in the 275s, and Diedrich was number 1 in the 242s. So that was 1-1, and we wanted to keep it that way. Yeah. But we got to looking at it, and Ian and Diedrich both being seniors, they've both totaled over 1,500 pounds on their total, which is the automatic qualifying total for the state. So even if somebody jumps up ahead of them, those two still get to go to the state meet, and that's what they've been working for. So.
All right. So a real important meet. I know in the past, and maybe this is a past problem that's been taken care of, but there was a lot of judging situations that we got caught up in the past where maybe they weren't quite holding the weight to a certain degree. There were a lot of DQs and stuff like that were going on. I guess they're just very meticulous.
Strict. Yes sir. It's a very strict meet, and now we were lucky in the fact that Mount Pleasant was very strict. They had some great judges there, so our guys got to get a good look at that. They have a better understanding of it, but our guys lift so well and so meticulously, we usually do not have problems with that. Yeah. I know last year we had no DQs. So we get to depth, we hold the bar, and we train for that. So, and that's how we train. Yeah. So I know for a fact that my guys will be pretty good.
Thanks for watching Channel 18 News. Have a great evening.